Good morning and welcome to this segment of the program. So excited to come your way today, and my name has not changed. It is still Inwarata Nosahai, and I am the business coach. You know, like 3 weeks ago, I shared with you an experience, a question that was asked me when I went to teach a particular organization on the issue of effective teamwork for peak performance. And the question was that there is a team meeting, and whenever there is a team meeting, the team leader always go for the idea of a particular team member. Let's assume the team member's name is Johnson, and the team leader, whenever you want to solicit for opinions and ideas from the team, the only person's ideas and opinion he always go for, the person he always asks to make contributions, is always Johnson. And I said the definition of such a disposition is called playing favorite, which I explained that is one of those factors that can lead to team failure, because such a disposition, such attitude will brew, it's going to brew a serious issue in the team that will lead to mistrust and distrust. So the issue of playing favorite brews mistrust in the team, it destroys the team, it collapses the team, and at the end of the day, the team will lead to total collapse, it will lead to failure. Then, another thing that can also make a team to fail is the issue of tolerating conflicting and competing agenda. Now, there is a team, and the team has some goals and objectives that it wants to achieve. But the stakeholders in the team, that is the team leaders and the team members, are pursuing different agenda, or they have different interests that totally conflict with the goals and objectives of the team. Let me say this here emphatically. Even if the stakeholders of a team, the people that constitutes a team, even if they are made up of professor emeritus, now, as long as those people keep on pursuing other kinds of interests, other kinds of agenda, other kinds of vision, the team will always lead to failure. This is what we call division, which is pronounced as division. You're pursuing a vision that is different from that of the team originally, pursuing another kind of vision. Division, division, a different interest entirely that conflict with the interests and the goals of the team. This is very important. So if you have a team, it is very, very vital that you see how you can ensure that everyone in the team, everyone is pursuing a single goal, which is the goal of the team, the interest of the team. Everyone subordinates their personal interest, their personal agenda, to the goals and agenda of the team. Let me bring this very close to you. For example, let's assume there is a family business, and this family business have the vision of always plowing back profits, reinvesting profits to consolidate the liquidity and solvency of the business, to make the business very strong. The business has a vision, has a goal of always plowing back profits to also maybe expand the business by way of opening more branches, or even go into diversification. This is the vision of the business. This is the interest of the business. But now, the stakeholder of this team, the stakeholder of this business, the family members that owns this business, that runs this business, are having other kinds of personal interests and personal agendas that contradicts and conflict with what the team is pursuing. And this personal interest and personal agenda may just be that they want to also continue to use the profit to buy personal effects, such as getting new cars every now and then. They want to acquire new furniture every now and then they also want to purchase other form of gadgets every now and then. So if this is always happening in no distant time, such a business is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Such a business is going to go into extinction in no distant time. Such a business is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Because why? The business can become illiquid. The business can become insolvent. The issue of positive cash position, which I taught 2 years ago that I will revisit very soon, is very vital for any business. And if the stakeholders of a team, the people that runs the business, the people that drive the system, they have conflicting agenda and conflicting interests with the expansion and diversification in the growth goals of the business, that business at the end of the day will be in a negative cash position. And then the business will lack the liquidity, the solvency that is required to always meet its financial obligation as before you. I remember, when I was being taught liquidity, bankruptcy in the university, my lecturer then, Mr. Richard Oguma, defined solvency as a business, ability to be able to meet up with its financial obligations as they fall due. And so if a family business is being kind of suffocated, is suffocated of cash, if that business, is being starved of cash, the business can suffocate into such a situation that will make it illiquid, insolvent, and the business in no distant time may just join the negative side of history. It may just join the negative side of statistics. So it is very important to see that to avoid team failure, we must ensure that everyone in the team is pursuing the same interest. Everyone is pursuing the same goal, which is the overall interest of the team, subordinating each person's individual interest to see that the interest of the team is taken seriously, and then the goals of the team is achieved. This is very, very important. Now, I was also speaking in another organization, a commercial bank to be more precise, and during the Q&A interaction, during the question and answer interaction, one of the team leaders or one of the members of the audience asked me this question, and this was the question. He said that whenever there is a team meeting, the team leader gives listening ears to the suggestions and opinions of other team members. He or she gives listening ears to their views whenever they are making contributions to any issues that the team is trashing or looking at. But whenever himself is going to make any contribution, whenever himself is going to express any views or opinions, what normally happens is that the team leader shuts him down. The team leader shuts him up. And if you look at such a disposition from the perspective of the team leader, that is not a very, very positive disposition for the good of the team. Because such a disposition from the team leader can demoralize and demotivate such team member. And just as a chain is as strong as its weakest link, that is how a team is as strong as its weakest team member. When the motivation, when the passion, when the zest of that particular team member is demoralized as a result of the attitude of the team leader, there is going to be a negative ripple effect of the person's behavior, of the person's self-esteem, of the person's attitude on the entire team. And it is more dangerous when you have somebody in your team that have deflated self-esteem, deflated morale, deflated confidence attending to your clients. When you have people with deflated self-esteem, deflated morale, deflated zest attending to customers, such people can have a negative ripple effect on the entire team. As a matter of fact, they can become a sort of virus, as it were, which was actually caused by the team leader. So it is very important that if you work in a system, an organization, an environment where such an attitude is being portrayed by you, the team leader, make sure you reverse the reaction. It is very important. Now, looking at it from the perspective of the team member, there is an African proverb that says that there is no smoke without fire. For every reaction, there was first an equal and opposite action. For every reaction, there is first an equal and opposite action that brought that reaction into being. So it is very important that as a team member, there is no smoke without fire. Nothing just happened. Probably the disposition or such an attitude from your team leader is a function of your own attitude. Remember what I just said. For every reaction, there was first an opposite and equal action. So you need to also watch yourself. Now, when it comes to the issue of making expressing opinions, expressing your views in team meetings and all that, one thing that is very important that every team member must take seriously is that there is difference between a commanding suggestion, a commanding expression of opinions, and a suggestive expression of opinions. Some persons, whenever they are expressing their opinions, whenever they are expressing their ideas and views to their team leaders, it normally wears the garment of command, but it's supposed to wear the garment of suggestion. It's supposed to wear a suggestive garment, not a commanding garment. And so, if you have such a disposition, if you have such an attitude, that may be what caused such a reaction from your team leader, which you need to watch, which you need to reverse, so that there can be that cohesiveness, there can be that team culture, in the team. Remember the statement by Henry Ford, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. And to ensure that togetherness, your attitude needs to be in place. Your attitude needs to be in place. And the acronym for team, it says together everyone achieves more. TEEM. Together everyone achieves more. Togetherness is something that can only be achieved when everyone have an attitude that can promote that cohesiveness, promote the team culture. This is very important. And also, as I conclude, for example, you are an entrepreneur, you are a team leader, you head a group of people. One of the ways I always recommend that you can use to motivate your people is through a compelling and an inspiring vision. Now, this is what I mean by compelling and an inspiring vision. When you have a group of people you lead and you are pursuing a goal, you are pursuing an objective, it is very, very important that you paint a better picture of the future before the people. What am I saying? Make the people to understand that as we pursue this goal, as we pursue this thing, if I, the team leader, will have the opportunity of having a better life tomorrow, such as advancing my education, getting better in my career, taking good care of my family, moving into new homes, driving in good cars, living a good life. Such experience is not just for me, the team leader, but you, the team members, you equally will share in that experience. So such a better picture of the future makes the team members to see themselves as stakeholders indeed, and such better picture of the future will arouse intrinsic motivation from the people. It will stir up intrinsic zest. Why? They have seen a better picture of the future. They have seen that being committed to this goal, being committed to this objective, driving this system is not just all about you, the team leader. It is all about everyone. It is all about everyone. That is why you see that in the international arena, some entrepreneurs are beginning to practice it in Nigeria. They make their workers to become equity participators in their business. They give them some units of ownership in their business, which now arouse such an overwhelming passion and commitment from the people. Because why? The people have now seen a better future of the future for themselves, and they now see that it is not just all about the founder of the business, it's not just all about the manager, it's not just all about the pastor, it is all about all of us. It is all about everybody. And I believe that you might want to ask me one or two questions. You might want to reach me for one or two information on this information I've passed across to you today. So just call my phone number 080-6686-5060. I repeat, 080-6686-5060. And I'll continue next week when I come your way. And remember, when I come, my name will still be Inua Rata Nosahai, the business coach. Your day is blessed. Thank you.